Today is Thursday, January 12th, 2023. It should be on our agenda. It's not 22, it's 23. At 7 p.m. tonight is the select board meeting. Welcome everyone, and again, Happy New Year to everybody. First up, before we get to our first agenda item, I just have a brief announcement. One of our select board members, Emily Winter, has made the difficult decision to resign. She has some family items that she needs to deal with, and they certainly take precedent over the goings on of the select board. She had submitted her resignation at the beginning of this year, which we have accepted. It is unfortunate. Emily has been a tremendous asset to the select board. I certainly enjoyed working with her, and hopefully at some point in the future she'll be able to rejoin at least some board or committee in town. So we wish her the best, but we'll be moving forward with two members of the select board, and we will probably have a future agenda item to discuss next steps in that area. But for now, first up, and our first agenda item is a request from Sue Reedich to hold the Bear Hill Triathlon on June 14th, 2023, following the same course along Harvard Road, Green Road, and Bear Hill Road from approximately 8:15 a.m. to 8:45 a.m. I would assume that's a.m. as opposed to p.m. So,
Yeah.
Sue.
Yeah, I think you
How
just
are
said
you?
it all. I'm fine, thank you. Right, so it's the same course as always. We'll have the three marshals at the corner of Harvard Road, right on, and then three at the intersection of Green Road where they turn right on Bear Hill. And so they're coming from Harvard and return to Harvard by Green
Okay.
Road, basically.
All right. So you've done this before, same
Yeah.
course.
Same
I would
course, yeah.
assume you've talked to the chief and
Chief
everything's
gave approval. I'm gonna send Jenny the insurance as soon as we get it. It's
okay.
usually-
So
yeah.
we're all, so I think we're all good. So Bob, you have any questions?
Nope, sounds good.
Okay, I'll take a motion to approve.
I move we approve the Bear Hill Triathlon on June 4th, 2023.
I will second that. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Roll call Sikansky,
Aye.
Waisaki.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Sue.
Happy New
Good
Year,
luck.
everybody. Yep,
Good
bye-bye.
luck. Take care.
Yep, bye-bye.
All right, next up is to consider a request from our conservation agent for support of the grant application for the Derby Field Park area. Rebecca, are you with us this evening?
Yes, I am with
Hi,
you
Rebecca.
to answer any questions or provide any summary you need.
Okay.
I read the draft letter. I'm fine with it. I don't have any questions.
No, I'm good as well. We've talked about this on a number of areas, and certainly we fully support the grant application for that. So I'll take a motion if there are any questions or any questions from the audience. Nobody's got their hand raised.
Okay, so I move to approve endorse the letter applying for grants for, is it the Action Grant Project?
Yes, so the most recent grant that we're applying for will be the in-action grant through the MVP program. But we would seek, and I think Dawn had mentioned it at past meetings, if other grant opportunities as their application deadlines come up, we would also like your support in that for the same project.
Well, I will generally support all the efforts to obtain grants for the improvement of Derby Field.
Thank you.
Okay. So is that a motion, Bob?
Yes.
I will second that. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Roll call Sikansky,
Aye.
Waisaki.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks very
Thank
much,
you.
Rebecca. Appreciate it.
Appreciate your time tonight.
Thanks.
you.
You have a great evening. Bye-bye now. Next up, at 7:05, which is unheard of in these days, but it is now time for the town administrator report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Two items I just wanted to touch on tonight. FY24 budget discussion. The finance team had another excellent meeting last week. For those who don't know, the finance team consists of the town treasurer, the town accountant, assessors, assessor's office, not the Board of Assessors, the collector, the town clerk, the town administrator, and Jenny.
And Stan.
And Stan, I was just taking a breath, as and Stan and Brian Boyle is the chair of the advisory committee. We did another review of our revenue forecasts and expense forecasts, and talked about some opportunities that we may have, some challenges we're going to have. I mean, it's going to be a difficult budget year. We know that. I believe we feel like we've got some avenues that we can pursue where we may be able to manage everything. We have scheduled what for me is an unprecedented third finance team meeting for this budget cycle that we'll be having in a couple of weeks. I believe early February, if I remember correctly. And I just would like to also add that I have now received everything I need, or everything I believe I need, for the capital plan for both the 1 year and 5 year capital plan. The report that was commissioned last year at the recommendation of our DPW director, Randy Hegland, to have the building studies done has proved to be invaluable. It's a cornerstone of the capital plan for the buildings. I also have capital requests for equipment for the DPW. I've received the school districts 1 year plan and 5 year plan. And I thank them for that, and have received some input from the fire chief as well. So now I'm in the process of assembling everything and trying to start working on prioritization. I know I'm on the calendar for advisory's last meeting in January to submit my proposed capital plan. So I hope to have an update for the board at our next meeting on the 26th. But now I just need time to do some really intense reviews. I already did one walkthrough with Randy about the buildings. I need to do another one. So we have all the information. We just need to distill it and try to come up with the best plan possible. So, but we are moving forward. Any questions on that? Either Bob or Stan?
Nope.
No, I'm fine.
Next, I just wanted to give an update on the library meeting room. One of the goals that the board and I agreed upon for this fiscal year was for me to meet with the trustees and have a discussion about plans and policy for the meeting room. I could say that I had a preliminary conversation with the chair, Bob Zach, and then last month attended the monthly trustees meeting, and it was an excellent meeting. It was also nice to meet the newest trustee, who I not had the opportunity of meeting before, so that was a pleasure also. The trustees are working on finalizing a policy for the meeting room use Monday through Thursday. The policy is not finalized yet, but they were unanimously supportive of the town having the annual caucus in the meeting room in March. So I was very appreciative of that. And with one minor caveat, which is not unique to the caucus, which is that if the work is in progress for the repair of the sewage for the restroom outside the meeting room, then they won't be booking any usage of it while that's ongoing, and which is understandable. We could have equipment in there, we could have all sorts of stuff in there. I think the likelihood of that is very, very remote. In fact, I think it's extremely remote, and the trustees agreed with that. They were just noting it for the record in case something did come up. But I thought it was an extremely useful meeting. I enjoyed meeting with them. It was extremely productive, and I thank them for their support.
Great.
That's
Thanks.
good.
That's
Thank you,
great.
Don.
That's good news. Good news. Anything else, Don?
Nope, that's all I have tonight, unless you have any questions.
Nope. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Up next is select board business. Do we have any public service announcements? Bob?
No, I assume you're going to do bottles and cans. If you're not, I will.
Yeah, I'll do bottles and cans, sure.
Okay, then I'm fine.
Okay. As always, folks, bottles and cans, Boy Scouts, it's their main source of revenue. We really would appreciate if, when you're separating your recyclables, put anything that has a deposit on it in a separate bag and drop it off at the small red building at the crest of the hill as you're coming into the transfer station. Also, just as a FYI, we are moving forward with going from stickers on the bags to actually providing bags instead of stickers. That will be implemented in the near term. So stay tuned for that. We'll be outlining how that's going to happen and all that good stuff. So that will be coming. But for that's all I have for public service announcements tonight.
Stan, if I may add on to that, we've had a
Sure.
lot of people coming into town hall asking, collecting their senior allotment of transfer station stickers, concerned that they will no longer be valid once the bags come in. So I'm reassuring everybody, but I'll just say for the public record that as far as we know, the stickers will continue to be valid at the transfer station. And if there is a point where that changes, I'm sure we will have a process for people to come in and redeem them for bags.
Yeah, I would say that's yes. So, no one will be left holding the bag, so to speak, if you will. Yeah, if we do switch over and at a point in time where we're not going to be using stickers, we can accommodate a redemption of stickers for bags, based upon what the exchange rate and what they've paid for. So yeah, so they're not going to lose any value.
And I would just like to add to Jenny's point, at my last coffee with the town administrator, I received the same question, and I gave pretty much the
Yeah.
same answer that you gave, Stan.
Yeah. So no one's going to lose out if they buy stickers now, or if seniors are getting stickers. They won't be left out. So we'll make sure that everybody remains whole during this transition. Okay. Next up, future agenda items discussion. Bob, do you have anything?
No, I don't.
All right, actually, probably two things from me. One is, since we have received Emily's resignation, we do have to have a discussion about how to move forward with a board that has two members on it. So we should have perhaps at the next meeting a discussion on how we're going to deal with that moving forward.
Okay.
Potentially the next election. The other thing is I have spoken with Brian Boyle, the chairman of advisory committee, and asked Brian to come in at our next meeting. He was prepared to provide a presentation to the school committee's budget and warrant subcommittee, which is the subcommittee that is supposed to be reviewing the upcoming FY24 district budget. The focus of that presentation was a brief presentation on Bolton's financial picture at the moment in terms of where we are with our finances and what the implications are as far as percent increases in the district's budget and how it affects us. He unfortunately was not permitted to do that presentation in December. I attended that meeting as well. He is going to be at, I believe, at the next advisory committee, bringing in, has invited our school committee reps for that presentation. But I thought it would be important for him versus Brian to present that at a select board meeting and have the folks who participate in this to be able to get a flavor for Bolton's financial picture at the moment and what the implications are for various percentage of increases in any future Neshoba Regional School District budget. So that'll hopefully be on the next agenda as well. So those are the two items. So I have nothing else at this point in time.
Okay, good.
Okay, next up, this is something I put on as a discussion regarding the Neshoba Regional School District budget process. I know that we have had discussions with the district and also primarily with the school committee for what their process is to review upcoming school district budgets. As you know, or perhaps as people may not know, in the town of Bolton, we kicked off actually this past Tuesday with advisory, and the select board is jointly posted with advisory. We go through the town's FY24 budget in great detail. We basically invite every department head in to review their portion of the FY24 budget. We go through every line item of their budget. We look at our town accountant provides a ledger every month. We go through and look at money spent against each line item in every department's budget to see whether they're ahead or behind, why they're spending more or why they're spending less. And we potentially make adjustments to individual line items within their budget to try to finally hone and come up with as lean a budget as possible, going into the next fiscal year. That process is not necessarily done with the school committee and the district budget. I've been attending the warrant and budget subcommittee meetings of the school committee. They have really yet to go through anything relative to the FY24 district budget. I don't believe that a school committee member is part of the budgeting process that the district is going through, the district management. And I think, at least from my perspective, I would like to see the school committee apply at least the same level of scrutiny to the district budget as the town of Bolton does to its own budget. And I think anything less would be a disservice. If we were not a full regional school district and only the high school, the select board and the advisory committee would be going through the budgets of Florence Sawyer School and Emerson School at the same level we go through every other budget in town. And I think that level of scrutiny needs to be done. I'm not necessarily advocating one method or another, and perhaps this may need to be implemented over some period of time, but I would like our board to take a position that we would like do scrutiny of the district budget as we do in our own town, to make sure that, one, we're providing education excellence, but we're doing it at the most cost-effective manner as possible. And if there are areas where they're spending more than they should, that they should be looking at that. So that's where I would like to take this, at least for the start. As I said, I'm not looking to dictate how they do it, but they need to figure out how to do that. But I don't believe that is actually occurring at the moment, and certainly hasn't occurred in the past. Bob, any comments?
Yeah, I think you're accurate in your description of how our process differs from the one the school district uses. I think it's useful to remember that the town budget, really only a third of it gets reviewed, because 2/3 of the total budget is one line item, which is the school. On top of which the school's budget also includes contributions from Lancaster and Stowe. So we've got an $8 million budget. They've got a $50 billion plus budget, and we're putting in 10, 20 times more non-administrative input into reviewing that budget than the school district does. I'm sure they put a lot of administrative time into it, but in terms of having people who are paying the bills or their elected officials review it, that doesn't happen to any degree comparable to what us or Lancaster or Stowe does.
Right. And I think I think there should be some higher level of scrutiny.
Yes.
That's That's what I'm asking for. And, I think the school district, well, the school committee needs to figure out how the best way to do that is. But I think there needs to be more scrutiny. So I think from just a high level, I think I think sound like we're in agreement that we would like additional scrutiny done on that budget, how they accomplish that. If they'd like to look at our model, or, some other model, I think, and to be able to quantify where they have either found money or where they have found underspending or overspending, or, to justify what they're spending the money on, because it is a lot of money. And as you say, Bob, I mean, it's one line item in our budget, but, last year it was between 16 and 17 million dollars. And there's got to be some better justification of what that number comprises of and where they have found areas. I mean, in our discussion this past Tuesday, we were looking at line items of a number of the departments, and we were cutting a few $100s here and adding a few $100s there to items that we already know exactly what they're spending it on. But the fact that they've cut some of their spending down, we asked them to reduce their budget. So we're getting to very fine levels of granularity in terms of eking out every dollar that we can. And I would expect nothing less from the school committee. I mean, they are chartered to do that. The state charter says that they're responsible for crafting the budget. The operating procedures that they have on their website, the school committee website, say that they're responsible for the budget, and they need to be engaged in that earlier on, because I think what's happening is that they're not really getting engaged until at least, I think next week they have a budget review. But certainly if we're spending between the second week in January through the end of March, every week going through our budget, they're not spending an equivalent amount of time. And I think there needs to be some better mechanism to do that. So I'll make a motion that, the Bolton Select Board would like the Neshoba Regional School District to find ways to do additional scrutiny of upcoming and existing school district budgets to gain as much efficiencies as possible. And we look forward to hearing from the school committee on how they plan on doing that.
I'll second that.
All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye,
Aye.
Roll call, Sikansky,
aye.
Waisaki.
Aye.
Thank you.
Next up.
May I ask a procedural question?
Sure.
How would you like that message to be communicated?
That's a good question. Do you have a suggestion, Mr. Administrator?
No, I just want to throw out the question. I have nothing useful to say. No, I was actually thinking it would be appropriate in this particular case if, as the chair, you typed up an email and sent it to, well, off the top of my head, I would say at a minimum, the chair of the school committee, our 3 Bolton reps, the superintendent,
Okay.
and then I could share it with my colleagues in the other towns, the other 2 town administrators.
Okay, no, that's fine. I'll take that on as an action item to construct that email, and I'll run it by you before we send it out. I think that's certainly appropriate.
Thank you.
Great, thank you, Don. I appreciate that. Next up is to approve the bills and the payroll warrants, W23-12, W23-12A, W23-13, W23-13A, W23-14, and W23-14A. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second that. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye,
Aye.
Roll call, Sikansky,
aye.
Waisaki.
Aye.
Thank you.
And I believe we have a set of minutes.
We do. Let me share my
Okay. You're muted, Jenny.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
So I was saying to myself that most of the most of the changes were pretty minor, but I wanted to draw particular attention to a change that I made after submitting it, and I'm actually going to make a second one right now. Sorry about that. To the 170 Bear Hill Road.
Mhm.
The agenda of this meeting on December 1st had a typographical error
Oh.
citing map number 3C when it should have been 7C.
Okay.
So that was also carried into the vote because the vote came from the agenda. So
Okay.
on these minutes, I've corrected it to 7C, and at the bottom, I've put a note just so that we are
Okay.
aware of the error for the public
Okay.
record.
Okay.
Just to reinforce what Jenny said, while the agenda had the typo on it, the correct citation was in the packet.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, looks good. The motion to approve the December 1st executive session minutes.
I move to approve the minutes from December 1st.
Okay, I will second that. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Roll call, Sikansky,
Aye.
Waisaki.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. And I think I lost my agenda. There we go. I believe that is it. Anything
In that
else?
case, I move we adjourn.
I will second that. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Roll call, Sikansky,
Aye.
Waisaki.
Aye.
Thank you. And the time for the record is 7:28 PM.
Excellent.
Wow. Wow. We
Excellent.
just zoomed through.